Hey scrappy friends, Crafty Scrappy Bree here, and I'm sharing with you my first card using my February paper crafting capsule. I had to cut this video down quite a bit. It was pretty long and YouTube really did not like that. So you'll see I cut through some stuff, but I'll try to go over it with you guys. All right, so I'm using basic black cardstock from Stampin' Up! As my card base, and you see here I have it cut at 5.5 by 4 1/4 and scoring it into an A2 size card. I'm also using Whisper White Stampin' Up! Cardstock as my base layer on my card. So I'm taping it down to a stencil, and then I get out a piece of scrap paper to put underneath, and then I'm going to use the Deco Foil Transfer Gel. This gel works great for you put it down on the stencil, and then after you let this dry for about an hour, you can put the foil on top, and then you can just roll it through your die cutting machine, and that will transfer the foil onto the base paper. This is a great tool if you do not have a mink or something like that. So I wanted to give it a try. I have a mink. I don't use it nearly enough. I'm hoping I'll start using it more soon. But I thought, hey, let's try this transfer gel. I just gotten it and been wanting to use it. All right, it looks like I got that pretty well covered. Kind of went back and forth. You'll see my head a couple times because I'm trying to make sure I've gotten every little thing. And here I'm scratching out a hair. I had a paintbrush hair in my gel, and I was like, I don't think that's good, but trying to smooth it out really good and making sure I have a good cover and base coat on the whole background. So I'm going to take off the stencil, set this aside. Like I said, you're supposed to let it dry about an hour. And then, of course, make sure you go and wash your stencil and your spatula. Now I'm getting out this stamp set. I think it's Party Animal from Pretty Pink Posh Studio. And I am using the koala that is on top of the cake. I'm going to stamp this down. I did it 2 times with Memento Black ink. I'm going to be doing some Copic coloring, so I wanted some Copic Safe ink here. So for those of you that do not know, I am Bree Ruiz. I am Craft Scrappy Bree, and this is my page. I am new at doing card videos. I haven't done a ton of card videos. I haven't really done a lot of videos in general. I work full-time as a teacher. I teach 6th grade here in Oregon where we live. And I don't really have a ton of time, but I'm trying to get better about doing this. I got super motivated by Christina Warner and her capsule idea. And I thought this is such a great idea, and I hope that this will motivate me into being able to make cards and do videos. So here I am, giving it a try and seeing if I can fit it into my schedule. As you can see here, I am starting the Copic coloring. And I take my darkest color and I work into my lightest, giving a center highlight is what I did here for the koala. I'm using C7, C5, and C4 Copic markers on the main part of the koala. And then I will use C3 and C1 for the stomach area and the ears. While I'm coloring, I'll let you guys know. So my husband and I, I'm a veteran, and he is now still serving active duty Air Force, and we are stationed here in Oregon. And we have 3 daughters that keep us very, very busy. So that's why I said I haven't always had a ton of time to always be able to craft or video myself crafting. I craft a lot, but I don't normally have time to video myself doing it. So I'm trying to get better at that. I have been crafting for about 16 years now. I started when I was about 16 years old, and this is a passion of mine. I have more supplies than I could ever want, and I love to buy new supplies and try out new techniques. So that's why this Christina Warner capsule idea just really stuck out to me, because I knew sometimes I don't get the best usage out of my items. So I wanted to work on that and really push my creativity. So I think I'm getting out probably my colorless blender and a few other colors here at this point. I'll be sure to add the colors into the comments down below, so that way you know for sure. I'm not great about showing them. Hopefully I'll get better over time. The coloring took an awfully long time for me, so hopefully I'll get a lot faster too, so you guys aren't having to spend all night with me. So I am a little bit Valentine's card out. Like, I feel like I've been doing Valentine's cards for quite a while now. So I was really excited just to break out some birthday cards and images and get to focus on those a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I love my Valentine cards, but I was really excited to do a birthday card here. So I'm using these colors BG13, BG34, and BG10 as my colors for my stand. Same thing, giving like a center highlight on that image. Now moving on to the, what I like to say, the ribbon stripes of the cake. And I'm using B39 and B37 as my colors for those. With the capsule, I only had 24 Copics to work with here. So it was a little tough. And I really had to stretch my colors and kind of figure out how I wanted this to look. It worked really well. Did it match the background? Not necessarily. I probably could have had a lot better of a background, but it's okay. It's all for fun anyways. Now I'm getting out V06 and V04, and I use those for that looped ribbon that is on the second layer of the cake. Same thing, adding a center highlight here. I don't know how the weather is where you guys are from, but it's super nice here in Oregon. Everywhere else has been getting snow, but not here in Oregon. We're actually getting 48, 50 degree weather and sunny, and it's been amazing. I've really enjoyed the weather lately. This is more of Texas weather, which is where we came from, so it was been very nice to have that sunshine. Now for the base of the cake, or the icing color, I used RV14 and RV12, I believe it is. Like I said, I'll be sure to post the colors I used down below. I'm waiting in the bus line for my kids as I'm doing this voiceover, so I'm really hoping that you guys will not hear all the background noise, hopefully. It's rare. This is actually my first time ever picking them up from school here in Oregon, because I took the day off today, so I had an appointment, so it was nice to get to pick them up. They get super excited about Caroline. So now I'm fussy cutting this out. I hold my scissors in my right hand, which is my dominant hand, and I move the paper, and that's how I do my cutting. And it works really well for me. I used to hate it. Now it's like nothing for me to sit down and just cut out a bunch of images. When I have a big piece of paper like that, I always cut off that extra white piece you'll see laying there. I don't know why. I tend to I can't work as well when I have a bigger piece of paper. So going around the images, being careful not to cut off those little flames on the candles. That was the hardest part probably. And then once I'm done cutting, I'm going to take out my Memento Black, Tuxedo Black pen, and I'm going to go around the edges to give it a finished touch. I find that makes it look a lot more finished, and you don't have that white edge where you've cut the paper. So it kind of helps cover up any mistakes. So I just finished that up, and I'm going to set that aside, and now I'm going to heat emboss with Versamark ink, and I'm using a Simon Says Stamps tiny sentiment, and it says make a wish, and I'm also using the sentiment from the Party Animal Pretty Pink Posh stamp set as well. So my whole sentiment is going to say, it's your big day, make a wish. So I'm getting out a clear block here, and then using my powder tool to help make sure that there's no static there. Then I'm going to stamp this down using Versamark ink, making sure I have a really nice, solid, good stamp. And then I'm going to set those aside and get out my white embossing powder. This is from Stampin' Up. And I'm just covering it really well, making sure I have a nice, solid cover and shaking off any of the excess. I'll then have my heat gun out, heating up, and then I will go over this and heat this until it gives me a nice solid white color. And then I'm going to use a circle framelit from Stampin' Up's Stitched Shapes framelits. And I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine, which I just did there, and that gives me a nice little circle. I'm then also using my Big Shot to now apply the foil. I did not let this set quite a full hour, unfortunately, and you will see where it messed up a little bit because of that. That's okay though. We live, we learn. Now I know. Definitely let it set longer. It was not ready. So I had a really hard time pulling up this foil. You'll see here, I ran it through about 4 times, and then I couldn't even pull the paper up from the back. So that was really a struggle there. So I get it up, and you'll see I have a few spots that just did not adhere as well as I would have liked it to. I'm then going to trim this down just a bit and make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to add some sticky foam tape to the back and pop this whole layer up on top of the black cardstock. I then pop up the koala on the cake and then adhere down my sentiment circle. I'm also picking out some Pretty Pink Posh sequins, and I am just dabbing some glue around. This is Scotch tacky glue that I'm using inside of a fine line bottle, and I'm just gluing that down and adding the sequins. So here is the finished card. I hope you guys love it, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.